Hi, this is my video slash photographic journal of my trek with my friends Dave and Brett from the north rim to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. This first shot is a still of the Map My Run route established from the north to the south rim. You'll see how it turns a little bit to the right when it gets to the Colorado and then up. So here, this is the video I took when we arrived at the south rim from the Bright Angel Trailhead. You can see on the left, there is Plateau Point. Here I've marked the trail in yellow, moving down from the north rim, following the Bright Angel Creek in the Inner Canyon, crossing the Colorado, up into Indian Garden. You can see that X right there is Plateau Point. And from Indian Garden on up to the south rim. So that distinct trail is the trail that I'll take later to Plateau Point. The green area here in the center is Indian Garden Campground. And you can see a little bit of the trail there in the center. Here's the shuttle to the north. We had arrived at the south rim. We had to take a 4-hour shuttle to the north. As we're entering the park, you see a herd of bison. Beautiful. And here's the sunset from the north rim. We spent one night in a cabin at the north rim. So the same trail from the north rim, if I illustrate in yellow here, we go down from the North Kaibab Trailhead. Here we are at the beginning of the hike, setting out. I have no idea what to expect. And the first day hike down to Cottonwood.
Our descent. Brett had an inauspicious beginning, but we're on our way.
So we didn't leave super early day one, but I think it was around 6:30. A little after 6, we arrived at the trailhead, started down, and yeah, downhill primarily. We were able to make good time. I'm pretty sure we were in Cottonwood by 10 o'clock. And then even at that point, we're not in the inner canyon. It's still quite warm at this time of year, which is a pattern for the trip. It's like at the campsite, there's a little bit of shade, but it's like 100 degrees. But you do learn to use the creeks of the canyon to help cool yourself down. So once we set up camp, we spent most of the day sitting here in this river, in this little creek that eventually feeds into the Colorado, but quite cold, cool. My feet got a little numb as I was standing, and it warmed up throughout the day, but really refreshing.
Yeah.
We rested for a few hours, and then towards the afternoon, we walked over to Ribbon Falls, which is what you're seeing here. It's a little sliver of water that falls down in that mound, covering it with moss and algae and plant life. So, unique little oasis in the middle of this desert, for sure. Walking back to Cottonwood, lots of fire, well, not lots, but several fires you notice that are apparently allowed to burn as a way of controlling them from bigger burns, from going out of control. Just a natural way of rejuvenating the forest. So they just let them burn out to a certain point. And then day 2 would turn out to be the toughest day for me of the trip, starting out again super early, trying to beat the heat. We're in the deepest part of the canyon, which means it's the hottest part of the canyon, so starting at dark is essential. And you can see here, downhill until we reach the river and come back up out of the river. The last third of that is very difficult in the heat. But at the beginning, you're just sort of meandering down to the river.
Always an exciting moment, turning this bend, and it appears to be another canyon. Hey guys, there's another canyon up here. So this is day 2. Day 2, woke up 3:30. Took us a while to clean up and stuff and go around the road by 4:30. It's now 6:30. Estimating around somewhere around 4.5, 5 miles. Supposedly it's 7 to Phantom Ranch, which is kind of a pit stop. That's the next stop here. But we're in the inner canyon. This is Bright Angel Creek, which funnels, as we work our way down, so does it, to the Colorado. Hopefully 5 minutes. Just around the bend. That'll get us to a little over halfway total. We'll still have another 5 miles after that. Well, it's not another canyon. Getting close. Oop. So we're just closing out here at Phantom Ranch. We're all just waiting on Brett to send a couple postcards.
That's right.
He's so thoughtful. Penmanship. Crossing the Colorado.
Dave, maybe. There he is.
Hi-yo.
So as we made our way up out of the box, as it's called, the hottest part, the heat coming off these rocks is amazing, and you cherish every little bit of shade you can find. For sure, it is taxing, and Brett here really, his demeanor really exemplifies how we were all feeling at that particular moment. Just a little break.
I'm exhausted, guys. Get the donkey.
You should just.
Very few pictures between them and Indian Garden, mainly because you just got to put your head down and keep moving to get out of that heat as soon as you can. Just not in the mood for a whole lot of stopping to take pictures.
Kind of a loud eater there, Brett?
But Indian Garden is an oasis. You find out quickly it's a place for the animals as well. So mule deer, the mountain goats, other woodland creatures who have obviously grown accustomed to human existence, but
Plateau Point. See across there, there's actually a fire.
Are not indifferent to us. They notice us, but they're not, walking up to us or anything. But they're like 10 feet away. No big deal.
I don't know if that's the same fire.
So from this point, I walked out to Plateau Point, which I showed you in the beginning of this video, marked with that X. This is just a great vista to kind of see, where you've come from and where you're going.
So we did.
So yeah, it was a pretty good hike. I mean, I'm impressed that my traveling companions were able to do it, because it was 13 miles, and the last 5 was uphill about, over 1,000 feet. I want to say something like 1,800 feet, but I could be wrong. And then it's in the hottest part of the canyon. We just had a program with the ranger. We set up camp, and he's just telling us how hot it gets and how it's actually not that bad, but in that particular part of the box, they measured the temperature coming up off the sand as 230 degrees. And it'll dissipate, but nonetheless, you definitely feel it when you're walking through that area. It is hot. You really appreciate those few moments where you have shade. We started early. We wanted to get going a little bit earlier, but it's more like 4:30 before we got going. But still early. And we were out of that area, I don't know, probably like 9 or 10, the hottest part, but it's still hot here. The rangers just telling us at our campsite, it was still at around 5 o'clock, somewhere around 93 degrees in the shade. So pretty significant.
This is Plateau Point. That night in Indian Garden, we had some thunderstorms, a little bit of rain coming down, and we started off early the next morning. This would turn out to be For me, not the hardest, just because it was not nearly as hot. We managed to stay in the shade, and the sun didn't come up for some time. It is like 3,000 feet of ascent, so you're definitely working hard, and the elevation changes, take the wind out of you, but not nearly as difficult as day two.
Well, that was difficult. We're out. There's Dave. He's out also. Just finished. Just waiting for free GB.